Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in KITZUR HILCHOS SHABBOS. We're still in the malacha of lush, kneading and mixing. And today he writes like this: Nesinas mashkim, putting the liquid into this mixture, oifen she'em ba'alisha, in a way that you're not really doing the kneading and the mixing process. L'rakecha oichel, you're merely pouring it in there to soften up the food. Now, we mentioned, according to many opinions, that from the time that you pour the liquid into the mixture already, you've begun the isser, the prohibition of lush. And you can't even pour liquid into food product, even if you're not megabel, even if you're not kneading it and the like. All of that is if your intention is that you want the more solid food product to get mixed up together as one with the liquid that you're pouring in there. But if it's the opposite, you would like to soften up and even break up the food with the pouring of the mashke, of the liquid over it. Kegoin, for example, litain mashke agabi biscuits. You have these biscuits, crackers, cookies, whatever it might be, and you pour liquid on there because you want to kedei lefara, you want to break them up. Hitiru gam litain mashke bli shinui. In that case, you'd be allowed to pour the mashke, to pour the liquid on them without even any shinui, any unusual way to pour. And the reason is because the purpose of lush, of kneading and mixing, is is to gather in and stick together the food through the mashke, through the liquid that is there. That's the purpose of this malacha. And if you have intention, the opposite of that, not because you want everything to stay together, however, you're pouring in the liquid in order to break up the food that is there. Then when you are pouring in the liquid, there is no prohibition over here of lush, of the kneading and the mixing. Because the kavanah, the intention, is the exact opposite. Nevertheless, on the mixing itself, if you want to mix it afterwards, meaning when you poured in the liquid, it was to break everything up. Now everything is broken up, and now you decide that you want to mix it together. Says the KITZUR, in that case, yesh iser lush, then there is going to be this prohibition. Then you would have to use a shinui, the roundabout way to pour it in, like all other cases over here of Lisha. The ayin l'kaman, he says, take a look later on, and you'll see what that's all about. Haisef is mashkim, adding liquid. There's another prohibition of adding liquid into the mixture, even if you already added liquid before Shabbos started, and now you want to add more on Shabbos. I'm sorry, this is a heter. You're allowed to add liquid if there was liquid that was added already before Shabbos. And that's even if you're not intending to soften up the food. Nevertheless, when you want to mix it all together, you need a shinui in such a case. Maybe you can even add food to some kind of mixture that is already mixed together very well before Shabbos. If the liquid was already absorbed in the food. And take a look later on, where you need to use a shinui to put in the food. Even with a thicker mixture, you'd be allowed to do this. So he leaves off over here a little bit confusing, and therefore, if you're going to add in liquid, if you're going to add in food to a thick mixture that was already there, it's problematic, and therefore it could be it's better to stay away from there. At least if you're going to do it, you have to do it together with a shinui, with some kind of a unusual way that you would, from what you would normally do. Have a wonderful day.